We have a situation here, and we're just again, it's just observe the social distance. He can come to the leg or something like that, but he doesn't. See how this is a little bit like in basketball. They say it's your handle, okay? But let's say he's coming in this way. Okay, we got that much. He wants to turn in this way. All right, now here we can go. We can just go. All right. Okay, so your ability to move and your ability to adjust to a situation here. I just thought we'd start with the sword. We've been doing a lot of staff. Okay. Osensei sword work is a lot like the spear. Okay, that's one of the things about it. It's like boom, 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 boom. So you can see right there what we're doing right there. It's just you can make a routine where we 1, 2, 3, but I just want you to get that feeling. What gives you a basketball? What do I do with it? You can do a lot of things. Boom, 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 boom. Take it to the hoop. Boom, boom, boom. See right here, if he turns in, you're talking to the person, not the person's position. Talking to a supervisor, you're talking to the person. It's that feeling, not person to person combat wise, but okay. So we're just a little freer. All right, we're coming to boom, 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 boom. Come on. Now watch the social distance. That got a little close. Okay. So David up first. That's just for the heck of it. And you just one person, you be the attacker, then you be the attacker. Then we'll put somebody else up. Okay, Paul, just for a second. You're seeing everything in terms of lines. I want you to see it more in terms of curves. Okay, for example, if you're coming, so you're seeing everything in terms of a line. Okay, now what I want you to do, the lines exist, but lines are softer. Right? In other words, I'm going to put you out there. If I'm coach, let's say it's basketball, you know the play. Okay, but on the other hand, the situation breaks down. So the play was for a certain situation. Now, basketball intelligence or Aikido intelligence, okay? So, for example, like the play, where the ball's supposed to go, where it's supposed to, but all of a sudden, boom, out there, there's chaos. Boom, boom, boom. I just want you to be a little easier, more fluid, because your lines are strong, okay? You're really good when you know what you're supposed to do, but when the play breaks down, and it's it's like, okay, in the moment, what's the situation? It's not what the play was designed for. Okay, so go again. Yeah. Now what I want you to do a little bit. Okay, now you're starting to pick that up. Okay, now what do they say for a wily veteran? It slows down for him. Now you got the curve. Boom, pass. Right. get back on defense. Make a switch. Boom, boom, boom. So somehow that's about composure and you start to develop your, your Aikido intelligence, which is you start to stand as the center. So better, slow it down. It slows down for you. It slows down for you. Right? See that feeling right there? It slows down. It's rounder. Yeah. That's a different level of you. Good. Okay. Next up. Keep going. Okay. Steve, all right. It's a little different. In other words, right here, boom. Okay. What can I sign up for a vaccine? What's open? It's like, okay, that. Boom. Talk to a person who can help you. That feeling a little bit, person to person. Okay. Now, what we can do a little bit right there. So there's that boom, 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 boom. Now cut underneath. Good. All right. Now cut underneath. All right. Okay. Come on in. Okay. Now we we can pair up. Okay. Yeah. So refine. Your lines or your positioning is good. But right about here, for example, it's like boom, 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 boom. Okay? All right. So 2 and 2. Keep going. Okay. Now, the other thing I want you to do a little bit. Okay. Now I'm using basketball because sometimes you get so locked in things. Your movements are front and back. Okay. Your lines are big here, going forward, going back, going forward. Now, what I want you to be able to do is be able to work side to side. Boom, 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 boom. Just a crossover. Okay. All right. Okay. Go this way. Curry crosses over, takes it to the hoop. Boom. Okay. All right. Right about here, for example. Boom. He spots Draymond for a pass. Draymond goes back door. This basketball is all movement. Okay. And we kind of get caught. Is it budo? Everything works on the principles of budo. All right. So what Osensei meant by budo applies to science, applies to basketball, and sometimes you get Japanese budo. And so right about here, I thought, right here, the side to side motion. Boom, 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 boom. Because you've got the earth ground there, but I'd like to see you get the water, and here, boom, fire. You see what I mean? All right. What are the Warriors lacking? Firepower. Oh, yeah, it's Steph Curry and the Warriors. He's the only one that can do anything, unfortunately, right now. But it may change. But ball movement is key. And right now your movement is forward, back, which is good. Okay. You know where you're supposed to be on defense. You know where you're supposed to be on offense. Okay, that's good. Okay, but it's much more complex than that, and it's also simple. Within the offensive pattern, you see right here, there's a lot of movement. Boom, ball's moving. Boom, 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 boom. You're supposed to take that shot. Next time, don't pass it up, Rook. You see that feeling a little bit? It's not quite so front back, is it? And on defense, you're going this way, you're switching, boom. Somebody else switches, you got to switch. Boom, 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 boom. I want you to take more advantage of that. Okay? and slow it down. You're the Wada, you're Draymond Green. Okay, the game slows down for you. All right, yeah, okay. Now you're starting to get the lateral side to side motion. That's good. You're strong on the front back, but adaptable, 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 refined, refined. Yeah. Okay, let's kind of move in here a little bit. We can make a line this way. Everybody's in there and socially distance. Okay. And okay, somebody was talking to Curry. Now, what I'm about to say, I'm using basketball. Okay. What Osensei meant by budo, it's translated as martial way, way of the warrior, whatever, applies to everything. His usage of that term. Okay. If you want to see a great series on Netflix, if you haven't watched it, watch Queen's Gambit. It's about budo and chess. Beth Harmon, she's the Steph Curry of the chess world, whatever. Okay. All right. That's great. Okay. Now, what happens is that, what Sensei found is that, in Budo, a lot of times you think you win. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to get better. But Sensei said, win over yourself. So it's refinement. Okay. And Budo exists in basketball. And sometimes you may have a better feel for it when you don't look at it like Japanese Budo. Okay. So a couple of things that we're doing. Okay. Before there's a move, before there's a system, there's you. You're, the way Bruce Lee put it, you're more important than any system. Now, if he's coming in this way, just like boom. Okay. He wants to come down here. Yeah, in a way, you could say, leave your anger at the door. Let's have a conversation. Not like, I'm going to smash your face before you say something I don't like. You see what I mean? It's called refinement. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying a little bit, in anything, there's a budo. Okay. And then Aikido is that budo that touches the intrinsic harmony of the system, the balance. Okay. And win over yourself means that basically you're not a system, you're a person allowing the system to flow through you. Okay. So those are very important things. If we get too caught up in bang, 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 then Osensei would ball people out. They were just, because, bang, 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 bang. It's very seductive, right? But the whole thing is that, the sense of budo, you're on the receiving end of something good. But nobody's fool. All right. Likewise, there's not a great example. The Capitol's about to be stormed. But maybe there should be some more intelligence about that. See what I mean? Right there. So budo can be politics. Budo can be you in a relationship with A, B, C, person or that person. See what I mean? And Aikido is, Bu, right? Is the old reading of Bu is take. And Musu, Osensei talked about take Musu. Musu is about giving birth to. Okay? So instead of thinking about winning, what we're really doing is giving birth to that takemusu element. Now, right here, for example, come on in, turn. Boom, 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 boom. This is metaphorically sharp. If he says, I'm going to smash me in the face, I'm just going to disembowel you, he'll win. But right about here, for example, boom, we're creating a, all right. He's a coronavirus, sorry. All right, I don't want him in my cells. You know, I want that messenger RNA stuff to create a certain amount of, you see what I mean? So, you know, budo is in medicine, okay? And so when we're looking at it, I mean, you may have Osensei used the gods and goddesses of the Kojiki to explain budo because he was probably saying, everybody thinks this bang, bang, win. And no, we're going to talk in terms of Izanagi, Izanami, Susano, Amaterasu, because it's, yes, it's a martial situation, but what we're doing is categorically different. If he's coming this way, then all of a sudden, you know, you're in a blending mode. Boom. All right? If he's coming in this direction, boom, 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 boom. And you know, it's socially distanced appropriate. We're in motion, we're outside, we have masks, but don't you know, we're not at that place where we can say hi and hug each other because that would be kind of, you know, dangerous at the present time. So budo can also be applied to the pandemic. All right, it's life and death, right? All right. If, for example, you're holding the sword in a weird way, he comes on in, then you have to be, this is a bit more like boom, it becomes more like a staff, which will go toward. Boom, 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 boom. And right when things get really kind of boom, 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 boom. Okay. In Queen's Gambit, Beth Harmon has to play something called speed chess. Okay. And first couple of times she does, she loses. Then as she gets a little more whatever, Beth Harmon, she's got a whole room of people and she plays speed chess with all of them and beats them. Right. And the thing about it, it's not about winning out there, it's about winning over yourself. Okay? And by winning over ourselves, what we're trying to do is create a harmony with what's out there. Steve kind of represents, let's just say, the environment. Okay, and we got the coronavirus, and we got a lot of crazy stuff going on, politics, we got another impeachment, and boy, this is hard. Okay, and right about here, it's like boom, whether your budo is politics or medicine or boom, whatever it is. And you know, he's there enough, you know. Let's say I'm Stephen Curry and he runs into the tip, smash. I don't, you know, you're supposed to catch that and lay it in instead of getting in the face. You see what I mean? The team, it's not the Warriors anymore. It's Stephen Curry and the Warriors, which is still entertaining. Okay, I still follow it. But when it was the Warriors, there was all this fantastic movement. And everybody on the team was part of an energy field. And they sort of, what Curry knew what Iguodala was going to do, and Iguodala knew what Durant was going to do, and Durant knew what Draymond was going to do, and Draymond, you see what I mean? It was almost like one great flow. It's called strength in numbers. Okay, but it was budo. That part of it was budo. Of course, they were very good, and they won and won and won, and that was fun. Now it's the other side. You got to win over yourself. The younger guys got to come up to where they can do something like that. Not exactly. Because you get Curry having to create all these crazy shots for himself as opposed to the ball moving. And when he moves, everybody else benefits, unless they go, what am I supposed to do? All right. So right about here. Boom, 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 boom. Whether you're going to target wrist, boom, or boom. All right. Or you're going to go boom. That's the laser. You're shifting energy shapes and forms very fluidly. You don't have to understand it. By the time you understand it, the sword's already fallen. By the time you see the opening for a shot, it's probably closed in basketball. That's all budo. Okay? And I'm not, you know, apologies if it doesn't make any sense to you. You can put almost anything in there. And Osensei's understanding of budo was, here's a master of budo. He got into Aikido, harmony. Ultimate person thing is not beating and dominating, winning in the world. It's about winning over yourself and creating a better world. Does that make any sense? Yeah. All right. So, you know, it's a little bit of a pep talk. I'm Steve Kerr trying to get you guys to just go and play warrior basketball, you know, with us, so, you know. Okay. So what we're going to do is going to rotate, work with somebody else. This is just, it seems to be free form, but there's a pattern to it. Okay, as he's coming in, there's a pattern of the triangle. Oops. Yeah, I might do that just to kind of startle. He says, what's that? Boom. Right? All right, boom. All right. Now the triangle leads to the circle. And then there's a square. Boom. And those are examples. They're not the triangle, circle, square. You form triangle, circle, square when you are in the place of doing the budo Osensei was talking about, just I can anyway. Okay, so let's rotate again. Okay, Steve. I'm sorry. Dave. Why in the world my fingers? Okay. You see when you pull back this way, you disconnect? Okay. So we can go this way. The motion back creates other possibilities. You see what I mean? Sometimes I got to keep my mouth shut just to let something happen that's good. Okay. What's the Republican Party without Donald Trump? Well, we're finding out. Woo. Okay. So one of the things I want you to work on a little bit is say when you go this way, you pull out of it, then everything has to reassemble. But there's a way right here where when you move back, other things come out of it. You see, boom. Okay, good. Yeah, if you're going to come in that way, I'll have to adjust. Boom. Right. Okay. You see, there's an area right there when you. So I want you to just couple with Paul. Yeah. Now you can go back, but more. You're not retreating. You're creating other possibilities, right? Yeah. Yeah. Now that's a different level of you. You see that feeling a little bit right there? Yeah. I mean, if budo were okay, we're going to learn all 117 possibilities with the sword. Well, guess what? That's stupid. I think there's probably a million possibilities. It may look like the same move, but it's a million, right? And so we get very, very, oh, no, my style is 118. It's like, come on. It's really about, where your great Rick Barry says, I can look at somebody and I can tell within 10 seconds whether they have a feel for the game. And if I don't see that, I'm not going to invest anything in them. Right? I'm sure Jerry West is the same way. Saying, hey, okay, that kid's pretty good. He's got a feel for the game. We can, we can teach. Now, in this particular case, we all have it. It's just a lot of times we just kind of want to make sure that it's kind of awakened. We're just kind of doing some free form with the sword. Okay, so if he's coming this way, then boom, boom. Now here I made a mistake, but it's like right here, it's like boom, 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 boom. Like boom, boom, boom. See, this looks like, for example, one note, but it's actually one. Now he wants to come in this way. There's a, he finally raises. Boom. Now there's motion back and forth. Okay. Now most of the time, I'm going to collide with a wall. Conversely, back, I just connect. But boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now there's also movement side to side. Boom, 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 boom. Well, you can combine both of them. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And so budo which is, you know, the Aikido is budo, good. But there's budo in teaching in the classroom. There's budo in everything. Okay, so when Osensei was talking about budo, he was talking about a fundamental principle, right? Bu, right? So join on in. It's a little free form, but you get a chance to move and you get a chance to feel. Okay, all right. So oh, keep a little bit more space. Okay. Now, one of the things, for example, right here is that you cut yourself on that motion. So drop the sword. Drop the sword. Good. You're like, now, if you raise it, raise it. You're going to cut yourself. So, or if you're going to cut yourself, but I don't particularly. Okay, good. I'm going to give a lesson up here. If you know, if you get bonked in the face, well, that's a, you know, that's a little bit like a stiff got you on a pass and it hits you in the head, when you could have laid it up or dunked it. You go, huh? Right? And so much my idea that there's a flow that he's a part of, which is part of a different world than my up and back basketball mind. You know, it's right. You know, I mean, as I said, I'm really not talking about basketball. I'm talking about budo. You might use a different example. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is create a little bit more space. So realize, you know, right here, okay, I'm stuck in a bad situation, the pandemic, okay, all right, but I can wear a mask. You know, I can limit my particular movements out. Boom, 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 boom. I can check in my friends on phone or Zoom. It's a pain in the butt. It's a real pain in the butt. No substitute for human interaction and everything, but we're in a very difficult place. So, Sensei would probably say there's a budo to the pandemic. You know, if you have a ski, you may be in a lot of trouble in opening, right? We all do. We all do. Okay. So I want you to observe the spacing a little bit more. So this time Steve will attack. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. See what I mean? Yeah. We can pretty much socially distance with the mask. It's 3 feet to 3 feet. Don't get this right now, okay, for the obvious reason, right? You know, I kind of wonder if the NBA is going to be able to finish its season because, you know, what do you see? You see the players in masks on the bench. That's good. But you see the games and it's still basketball. Nobody's wearing a mask, all right? And, you know, but there's a budo dealing with the pandemic and being a basketball player in the NBA. You know, budo is not just you have a budo being you, you have a budo being you, I have a budo being me. We share situations. The budo is both of us. That's what makes it the IQ. You see what I mean? That's other than that, it's a bunch of forms we get better at. Okay. What is Curry and what do the Warriors want to create? Organized chaos. Do they have plays? But what do they want? Movement. They want all 5 players be able to recognize the situation of the defense and move. And the ball moves. And, you know, there's Stephen Curry there, and he gives the ball a piece. You know, when everything's right, he's more dangerous without the ball. You know, because he's got the ball, you know where he is. He's going to pass it, shoot it, or hold it. Okay. And you can trust him to do that. The only way the Warriors beat good teams is somehow the rest of the team plays well. And they give him a shot to make an impossible 3 and close it out. That's it. All right. So it's Stephen Curry and the Warriors. Why? Because he's in this transcendent player. And he's got a bunch of guys on the team now, for no fault of their own. Their IQ isn't matching his. And so you don't see the fullness of what he can do. In fact, you see a lot of stuff they wouldn't normally do, which is, you know, just doing a lot of solo. That's hard. Yeah, when you got Iguodala and Durant and Livingston and all those guys, they know exactly what you're going to do. You know what they're going to do. Offense, defense, switch. Then what happens? Organized chaos, and it's fun. You see what I mean? Not chaos, chaos. Organized chaos. There's aliveness. You say it's not, "Oh, okay, this is the way it's going to be. There's a pandemic. Your life is screwed." Yes, it is. But within that, there's a flow that can be, so I'm asking you to investigate the spacing. Okay, because we're a little frozen here, too close, and it's just, on certain things. Yeah, right. Let's have your birthday party. Good, we'll have to do it online. Or, look at the regulations, maybe 3 households, no more, unfortunately. You can invite all your friends, stuff like that. There's a budo. So when Osensei was talking about budo, he was talking about everything, right? Not just like budo, budo, budo. So keep going. Okay, now you get drawn in a heavy situation. Good. All right? You're a wrestler. You can take me any day, but we're in quicksand, and I have better footing than you do. You see what I mean? Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in that. Okay, it's budo. Come on in here. Let's go here. Boom. And, then there's going to be another move. Boom. Sensei apparently hated that. Boom. Oh. It's either that move or, for a little fun. Refinement. Somebody, I don't know, it's almost like somebody farts in the room. You don't humiliate them. You kind of tactfully say, next time, don't do that. You see what I mean? As opposed to, you see what I mean? We're drawn out. I want to be right. I want to win means I want to be right. Consideration for other people, situation, also yourself. That's development. Not go into denial. There are real issues right now, but the Aiki is about go back again. See if you can kind of we'll see that potential heavy situation. Yeah, you have refinement there. You see what I mean? And it's so easy to get drawn into that. Yes. Yeah, good. Now you're starting to feel. Yeah. Yeah, good. You see what I mean, right? Yeah. I was just saying that, they call it the TOE, theory of everything. That was budo to him. Budo just in everything. It teaches how to be good people, live in great situations or impossible situations. And we're, instead of winning, we're refining. Right? That's one of the things. Yeah, okay. I can outshout everybody. Good. I'm not going to grow. I outshout everybody. I got the best missile system on the planet. That's good, but not by that much. So we have a war. We're going to destroy each other. So that seems kind of pointless, right? Okay. Anyway, let's come back over here. Okay. What we're going to do is, why don't you line up over there, and we'll kind of try to do the camera thing. Socially distance. Okay. It's just that a lot of times we kind of want to look at things. So this morning we're going into, you can be over there if you want, but just socially distance, okay? And what Osensei might have meant by budo, and our particular thing is budo is everything, or conversely, anything has budo inside it, okay? And depending on who you are, okay? Classroom teaching. There's a budo to that. Okay. You know, if you're a venture capitalist, okay, there's probably a budo to that. Okay. If you're a politician, there's probably a budo to that. Okay. So one of the things I kind of want to mention, we get drawn out. Okay. So for example, here he comes in, he's kind of stiff and heavy. I get drawn into it. But this, what Osensei wanted us to do is refine. In other words, you know, he comes in this way, we go, boom, I'm here with him. But what if we go this way? Okay. All right. We'll just kind of play a comic book game. I'm Aquaman, he's Superman. Okay. He's going to beat me in a punch out, I think. Although Aquaman's a lot stronger than I remember him. But maybe in the ocean, Superman would have trouble. You see what I mean? And so, you know, I mean, if Superman wants to punch me out, maybe if I'm Aquaman, I'd arrange it where we have that happens in the ocean where I can maybe communicate with him a little bit, right? So that's refinement. And one of the things is that, you know, somebody comes fast, I panic here. Somebody comes fast, boom, boom, boom. I realize, you know, within that increment of time, you know, there's openings low or there's openings high. I'm not looking to beat him. I'm looking to refine here so the interaction with him doesn't become who wins. In other words, what he's doing, hopefully he's feeling me refining. So what does that do? Teaches him how to refine, right? It's win-win. Strength in numbers, if you want to use an old warrior term. All right, now, about here, for example, boom, 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 boom. All right, you got your sword in a weird grip. All right, boom. Now we're using the sword much more like we would use a spear. Okay, all right. Yeah. Now here, there's a lot of distance here. Boom, 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 boom. But boom, we can close if we need to. All right. So that's what we're working on, you know. And so we're not saying this move, that move, this move, that move. I kind of want everybody here to start to catch the refinement process. Okay, he comes in and he's kind of solid, heavy. All right. See, I get drawn into that. We go, okay. Now he might start. Okay, good. So, like you started to pay attention to the fact that, you know, if I fall asleep, you take the leg. Okay, adapt. If he's fast, and I, you know, like, all right. Okay. So one of the things, if you have to win, it's a weakness. Sometimes you just got to step to the side. Are we going to win over the coronavirus? Eventually. Okay. But we may have to do things like wear masks, socially distance, do a whole bunch of things that really we don't want to do. It's called blending. Okay. And there's a budo to sort of training and keeping the Aikido going during the pandemic. Okay? That's what we're trying to do right here. No substitute for being in a dojo, kind of feeling your partners. But hopefully what happens is when we get back to that, you've done some refining. So what happens right there is that when you actually can do that, you don't get drawn here, but oh, see, there's that click, that refinement. Okay, now who's faster, who's heavier? You don't play that game. If he's coming in this way, boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. Using archetypes. He's Wile E. Coyote. Who do I want to be? I want to be the Roadrunner. Boom, 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 boom. Everything he does explodes back on him. I'm beat. And so the Roadrunner isn't trying to beat Wile E. Coyote. He just, you know, Wile E. Coyote gets smarter. Okay. The Roadrunner stays the Roadrunner. He lets Wile E. Coyote blow himself up or shoot himself with a rocket. You see what I mean? And so we kind of want, that's the archetype, okay? And if the Roadrunner all of a sudden started to engage with Wile E. Coyote, there'd be a fight, and with the Roadrunner win, probably the Coyote beats the bird, in an actual fight. But you can't beat what you can't catch. And the whole thing with Wile E. Coyote is he gets smarter. But something he doesn't catch is he's a limited self. And the Roadrunner represents something that really pisses him off. Why does he want to kill the Roadrunner? Why does he want to blow the Roadrunner up? Because the Roadrunner represents something that Wile E. Coyote can't be, which is free, easy, non-attached. So it drives Wile E. Coyote nuts. But they're both archetypes. And so we're basically both Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. That's the truth of it. I hate the coyote. No, we have that inside us. But we also have the Roadrunner. And so right about here, for example, is that whatever he tries to, the Roadrunner just keeps being the Roadrunner. That's refinement. Now you may need help, like, all of a sudden, you're that, and all of a sudden, boom, Wile E. Coyote wants to drop something heavy on you. He drops it on himself. Okay. That's refinement. And it's fun to play the role of Wile E. Coyote because we all do. I plot, I plan, and then everything gets shot to whatever. So we got to be more like the Roadrunner. Roadrunners in empty spaces. I'm sure Wile E. Coyote's got a greater chance of getting the COVID-19 virus than the Roadrunner. Okay? So he's there. I move too quick. I sit and try to deal with weight. Right there, the Roadrunner realized, the tiger realized he's sinking into the swamp. Woo! The ability to refine is the ability to find that place. Okay? So keep the same part of one more turn. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. One of the things right there, for example, if you're on top, he wants to raise or something like that. Yeah. He's probably going to come underneath. Okay. Okay. So if you're here, on the other hand, there's no particular thing, but like, for example, here, okay, now he's free. You have an entry point. Or if he does raise, you slip underneath. In under position, nobody wants to be. But in Aikido, it's very advantageous, and you just have to be able to read. That's a refinement. Okay, if you make a rule out of it, what you find these days is that Nobody knows what's going on. You know, you go to a website to get information, guess what? You get directed to a phone call, which puts you back into the website. Nobody wants to talk to you. All right, if you can actually get somebody to explain something to you or get a personalized email back, good. But most of the time it doesn't happen. So we're kind of in this morass, you know, running around sort of in a state of being concussed. That's what it is. So just being able to read, refine, you see what I mean, becomes very important. Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, they're all kind of the ability to stay in that place where, you know, yeah, it's budo. It's not necessarily a fight, right? It's just, you know, it's just a way of looking at it, not just something. So you can be very tactful. You know, somebody wants to, you know, no, I think it's a good idea. Without, you know, necessarily having to teach it. You see what I mean? Or, you know, and you don't want to be a know-it-all. You're just going with flow of things. But you're consistently in that place where you're, you know, in other words, you know, there's an area which is unfortunate. You know, I got my head in the clouds, I'm asleep. They're nobody's fool. Okay. Robert Fraser, I don't know if it's this way anymore, but he lived in Japan in the 60s. He says, you have these police boxes. He says, a good policeman knows when a gun enters a neighborhood. What he said, oh, there's another gun in my neighborhood. They were that good. I don't know if they're that good anymore. You know, you see what I mean? It's like, oh, a gun in my neighborhood. Another one. Okay. Oh, all right. Thank you. Yeah, they have connections because, you know, thank you. You see what I mean? You're going to go there and think, give me that gun. It's more like, no, you know about it. You also know situations may come up. You're just blending. That's what you're supposed to do if you work in a police box. I mean, in the 60s in Japan, this is just crazy. You need help generally. The system's really overtaxed, doesn't know what it's supposed to do. Just like Stephen Curry and his teammates. Jeff knows exactly what to do. Draymond does, and nobody else does. Okay, they're learning. Okay, that's good. And it's frustrating, everything, but easy. It's easy. You can't rush learning. But you can take situationally things. Say, okay, this is a budo practice. You know? Now that's a little bit more freeform, right? I mean, you don't want to, you know, we're walking around with swords drawn. That's not a good world. But you know, you have a walking cane or something like that. No. You know, keep going. Yeah. I want you to do a little bit, okay? And this is a little bit like, okay, there's textbook ways of handling things, okay, which is important to know. But budo refining means that, you know, it's not to throw the textbook method out, but you're, you know, basically realize you're a person dealing with another person. And rules and everything, great guidelines, but we don't want to, okay, now I do this, okay? So what I want you to do is just come on in this way, just like, you know, do something else. Good. You're a person. I don't want to see a bunch of rules. I want to see you, and I have to know the rules depending on, you know, there are, you know, like if you're doing this style of food, there are rules. But there's the person to person connection. And those are people that are really very valuable. People they should probably go, wow, right? Okay, you're not a statistic. Statistically, this is what we do in this situation. Yeah, I'm going to follow my gut and my heart, you know? And yeah, I'm pretty much going to follow the rules, but I'm going to, people will sort of know, you know, if she attacks, then, you know, you it's like, "Whoa, there's a personalized interaction. Right. And you can make this form and that form out of it. But, you know, increasingly, you're dealing with institutions communicate back or know what's going on. They're supposed to. Oh, check this website out. You got a website? Yeah. All right. Okay. Now you, oh, I got a phone number. Oh, it puts me back online. What's going on here? So, I mean, the system itself is very skewed. And so you got to say, okay, I'm a person here increasingly frustrated here, but I'm going to be easy eventually. Maybe I'll get an email back from somebody who, you know, and that has happened. It takes usually about 1 in 12. And you got to deal with 11 where the system bounces you right back. You maybe get one phone call that's meaningful, you know. But you know what you're waiting for. You're waiting for the person-to-person contact, whether it's from an email. Somebody says, oh, yeah, hi, I got your situation. Now, this is what I understand about it. And, you know, so I'm going to explain your situation to you from my end. And that's person-to-person. Call this number. Visit our website at, you know, oh, here's another number and call it. Visit the website at. And so it's a circular pattern that doesn't nourish us because, you know, there's very little person to person. You see what I mean? And so when you're doing the movement, try a couple. Just can be either of you moving. All right? Yeah. That's better. Yeah. Yeah. Just that motion. That's okay. That's all right. Everything's a learning experience. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I want you to do, you're a basketball player who goes right all the time. Go left. Investigate the left side, which you can do. Good. You can do the same move. Okay. Now, what I'm going to kind of do a little bit, for example, here, you know, okay. Now, you're on top. Most people don't like that. They want to come at you or get on top themselves. So what can you do? All right. Because now you got to move here, and then you got to move back. But for example, here, right? Okay. Well, what most people don't like this. Because see, I'm on. Okay, but no, so you got to other subtleties. Okay, for example, here. Now you're on top. What are you going to do? All right, good. I have to cut an angle here. All right. Oh, good. Now you're on top. What are you going to do? Good, 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 good. So part of this is exploring in situations where you know you two communicate, your person to person. These are forms. You can get really good at them, and then we move around, get a workout, but nobody learns anything because you know it's another mechanized thing. You're like another person on tech support that can't help anybody. Hey, I called you to find out. Sorry, well, whatever, or you know, eventually say supervisor. You get the supervisor, they don't know what's going on. You have a supervisor? Yes, but okay. So that area right there, keep going, keep going. Mix it up a little bit. All right. No, that's good. In other words, right here, for example, we go here. If she raises to come at you, she cuts her own wrist. Boom, boom. Okay. And so, you know, we don't want that, but you know, there's an area where, okay, let's throw a party without any social distance or masks. And let's mix households past a certain number. And let's do it. Well, we'll do it outside, but it'll be, no, it's a super spreader event. Okay. And so, yeah, not a good idea. Do I want to do it? Probably. We don't want to do this stuff. But you see, there's budo here. You see what I mean? There's a budo to sort of dealing with the pandemic. Okay. And we can be flexible without being careless, right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. That's part of what Osensei called budo. Everything, budo, martial art. It's like, yeah, but if this is all it is, then we're just a bunch of program movements. And he was trying to teach people to feel and, really deal with everything person to person. You see what I mean? So there are no forms because even though you're doing a movement like that, it's a person to person contact. You say, yeah,
I have a question.
yeah,
So
yeah, go.
say man comes at me and I step off to the side. Like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Usually just
Yeah, okay. Now, what I want you to see right here. And this, yeah, okay. Yeah, she can sweep this way. Good. You're right about here. See, this is supposed to, if this is just a piece of wood, you should have crushed her face so she could get you.
yeah.
Okay, but we're treating this, she's going to come in this way. That's sharp steel. I'm not cutting her. I mean, she's fun. I'm sort of helping her educate. Like, drugs are not good. You know what I mean? As a mentor, you say, yeah, I know life's frustrating, but it's probably not a great idea. Well, conversely, you got a friend and they got an injury, and you know, an over dependence on opioids will get you in trouble. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're in pain, so I understand it, but you don't want to get addicted to it. That's just good advice. You may do it anyway, but at least you kind of noticed it. You see what I mean? And if we're here form wise, well, you didn't smash me in the face, so I'm going to kick your knee out. But if you're coming in this direction, see that everything is really as you're coming like when you come in this. I got this here, I got position, but you person to person. You see what I mean? If I don't have that, then we're just going to be fighting each other with sticks or simulated swords, trying to beat each other. It's about refining where we start to get that person to person level. Aikido can't be theory. It has to be somewhat like, okay, this should help me in most anything, right? Communicate a little better. Be patient with people. Okay, you see, yeah, see right there, for example, you start to do that, all of a sudden I started to notice there's energy coming towards me kind of low, and I'm not normally in that state, but you go, no, okay, that person is not telling me everything, I better just be a little more conscious, not paranoid, to realize that person keeps place things very close to the vest, and you don't know what that person's thinking, what they're going to do. Doesn't mean they're going to do anything crazy, but yeah. So, within that, the budo is really in that person to person. Of course, we're doing this. We're going to do some of the staff work next. So, okay. All right. Paul, go left. Go left. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now, one of the things I kind of want you to, okay, let's say, when I say go left, feel. It's quick. Okay. You're too quick to the hoop, so what are you going to do? Draw a charge. Wait, let the defense move, and you make them move. There's somebody switches onto you, there's Curry over in the corner. There's that feeling a little bit. Supposed to, I take it to the hoop and draw a charge or tell you right. Boy, we hate that guy right now. But not the lack of energy. It's just right now his intelligence is not where it's supposed to be. Okay, so one of the things. So go left. Go left, go left. Good, good, good. Just feel, 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 feel. Yeah. Refinement. Yeah. You're the coach, so you can outshot everybody. That's good. Got down, Don Nelson fired. More than once, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm the coach. I'm the star. Yeah. Steve Kerr listens to the players, realizes where they are, can be frustrated as hell because nobody knows what's going on, but creates an environment where they might learn. So go again. Come on. Go left. Just for the sake of it, so you don't normally. Yeah, that's okay. Good, good, good. Yeah, all right, yeah. And the other thing right there, let's say you go that way and you go this particular way. Well, underneath, it's good. That's a bounce pass. It's the way I'm going to try to throw it over the top. No, bounce pass. Hey, it doesn't matter if Draymond gets it and dunks. Whether or not you threw a lob, well, Draymond's not going to catch it at his age. So maybe I'll throw a bounce pass. And then if somebody gets him out of the hoop, you can just flip it to Wiseman. You can throw the lob to Wiseman, right? There's the time to go over the top. There's the time to go subterranean. And that's, again, refinement. Try a couple more. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Good, 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 good. Okay, yeah, see, that was a bounce pass. But the other thing I'm gonna mention a little bit, okay, is in my consciousness, it flashed out. Okay, it's like a subatomic particle. It's there one instant and it disappeared. What was it? It was something good. Well, there's time to slow it down, not fall asleep, not dissociate. What I noticed what Curry does a lot is he's moving, he stops. The other guy goes, good, I can take a rest, then he takes off. Bobby Carter says, oh my God, and then the road runner, you see what I mean? So vary the pace a little bit. Like, for example, slow. Somebody who's really fast may not be that fast when you feel like you're putting them in heavy water. You know what I mean? That area right there. Tie themselves up. You see what I mean? Yeah. Go again. Right. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing right there, what I was trying to say a little bit, okay, it's called gravity. People don't realize that Curry gets them so much, he doesn't need the ball. Just having Curry out there, two or three guys have to pay attention to him. The rest of the guys should be mopping up, except they're too dumb right now. Okay, so if you're coming in this direction, it's called gravity. It's called gravity. Even when Curry's not doing anything. Just the fact he's out there. Take advantage of gravity. Take advantage of gravity. Take advantage of gravity. Okay, now, just Kelly Oubre. Slow it down. Take advantage of gravity. Very good. Take advantage of gravity. Take advantage of gravity. Gravity has a different term in basketball than it does in physics, but it's very similar. It creates, he's got so good, everybody has to pay attention to him. There are four other guys because two and a half, three people are paying attention to one guy. Why? Because he's the only one that can beat him right now. Okay, that makes sense. Not so good for Steph, but the rest of the guys got to say, we got to this opportunity here. And so they start getting better, and all of a sudden Steph gets freer. It's called gravity. You don't have to shoot to affect the game. You just Who wants to cut the leg or something like that? Is that fine? Okay, let's move over here for a bit. Um, yeah, one of the things I kind of want you to, you were mentioning with Paul, it's called gravity. Okay, it may not be what you think. And, you know, I was kind of using basketball. Curry has gravity. He doesn't have the ball. Two, and probably two and a half, almost three guys on the other team have to pay attention to where he is. Okay? So what does that mean? The rest of his team is 4 on 2.5. But too dumb to take advantage of it. Okay? Curry, just by standing on the court, picks up that amount of attention. He could just kind of be moving at this speed. Maybe he can play till he's 80. So, but he's Stephen Curry. you gotta watch him, okay? So one of the things here, for example, and that's one of the most important things to develop. Osensei said Aikido will practice in developing what he called gravity. He called it in-ryoku. Okay? I read about here, you know, that's the obvious. This can be done very badly. Oh, I see. I just got to stand here and be cool. Oh, Roadrunner has blown you up or impaled you on a missile. Wherever he goes, you got to pay attention to where Stephen Curry is. You get to be Stephen Curry. That's what we're working towards. You know? And Curry is so good that a lot of times you're paying attention to where he was and you don't get where he is. That was, you know, essentially on another level, we call that Katsu Hayagi. Somebody, this is where Curry was, this is where he is. You know, since they did that much better than I can do it, unfortunately. Okay? And so, you know, what happens is you develop a real calm state. Okay? If you're a classroom teacher, kids are probably nuts now. Okay? But you have a calming influence on them. Okay? If the sun disappeared, we'd all be in trouble because gravity would disappear, the planets would go in weird directions, and we would just not have any heat. See what I mean? The sun, in this gravitational pull, creates an order to the solar system. If the Earth disappeared, what would the moon? I don't know. It would have to move until it hit another gravitational field, and it would be a moon again. Okay? So gravity is a part of budo. And as we refine, one thing we kind of want to develop is gravity. You know, and when you have that, you are the center. Okay? And there's a harmony to the universe. Right? I was trying to explain to Nado Sensei that a lot of times you don't see a black hole. Why? Because the bigger the hole, the stronger the pull, all that going in about light speed, and it ignites. You see a lot of fire, whatever it is, around the black hole. And you will notice that there's a effect because the actual gravitational pull of the black hole is influences this, that. It influences space-time this way, that way. You may not see the black hole, but you know it's there because of what's going on. Okay? And so one of the things is nobody wants to be a black hole. Okay? A black hole. But you develop, as you develop that sense of gravity. Okay, like for example, whatever you do in terms of the movement itself, doesn't have to be fast at all. Mm. See here, for example, he come underneath, so you know. Okay. So that is a real important one. That takes a certain amount where you're really, you know, you say person to person, but you are in the moment with that person. You see what I mean? It's not. If you try to say, "Oh, I see that. I'm going to make a form out of it," then you go this way, you get cut. Your belly gets cut. Okay. Huh? We don't see the black hole. Come on. But there's an effect it has on other things around it. And again, I'm repeating, you don't become a black hole, but you become kind of a, you know, in Osensei's words, more of a celestial being. All right. You know, your energy is very wide and deep, and you acquire refinement. I mean, the black hole is pulling things in so fast, it's about light speed that matter ignites. You see a lot of light around a black hole, right? And how much does a black hole weigh? It's a singularity. It doesn't weigh anything. You see what I mean? It's a contradiction. Okay? Okay, the universe was a black hole, and then something came out the other side of it, and that was the Big Bang. I mean, you know, that's a little past what I can do right there, but okay. And so, you know, that sense where there's no weight to a black, but it can pull planets in, it can pull other stars in, it can be, you know, tremendous amount of power. And you don't see it oftentimes. You see the effects of it. Okay? So one of the things here, if we're coming in this way, just as it can move very slowly, and you know, you okay, so you know, if you come in this way. And my definition of that, now watch the distance thing, is gravity. Okay? See right there, she moves in, the wrist gets cut. Go here. See right there, you don't want to be too oppressive. As a kid, you could damage their spirit being a teacher because you have a lot of authority. But you gotta let them move and boom, boom, boom. But you're always there to guide them. That's gravity. Gravity and love are very, very connected. Why? Because, you know, if you, for example, love is an attraction, isn't it? You know, mainly it takes two, this and that, right? Izanagi, Izanami, okay? But what is love? It's that attraction, okay? And so when Osensei was talking about the martial art of love, he was, yeah, he was on some sense saying love and gravity, okay? The universe loves us enough that we don't go flying into outer space. You know, we've got a firm foundation here on Earth. Sometimes it's limiting, okay? So within that, you know, what we try to do is kind of get that sense right here. You know, right about there. There's a lot of freedom right there. Right there, we're right in this, you know, it's almost like we're very dense gravity. All of a sudden, boom. So sometimes, you know, within that you change speeds. But, you know, there's the gravity, let's put it this way. We're all in the same gravitational field right now, aren't we? Okay. Now you become boom, 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 boom. Now, in the face, he wants freedom here. Okay, boom. But that freedom has, I'm just pointing out that that freedom is used better. Wear a mask. All right. Socially distance whenever possible. Realize gatherings without those things, whether you're going to go to a store or market where nobody wears a mask, that's not a good idea right now. See, if you kind of look at what budo is everything. It's a, okay. And when Osensei is talking about the martial art of love, he is talking about we develop because everybody has the gravity. It's just that we get too caught up in all this craziness up here and out there. As we settle a little deeper, okay, Warriors will be okay. It's just right now, if you follow them, it's Stephen Curry and the Warriors. Used to be the Warriors. There's one guy and there's maybe another guy, Draymond. Okay, so it's growing pains, kindergarten. You're imparting something though. You're imparting some structure to a child's life that might not be there. Your parents is a very important thing. So as that teacher, you have gravity. If you're part of a team in terms of your work situation, okay, there'd be a flow, but you have to have a certain amount of personal gravity for that flow to be meaningful. And so when Osensei is talking about in-ryoku, is a Japanese word, in-ryoku no tanren ho, the refining of oneself to be gravity. Gravity and love, attraction. That which keeps things from flying apart, binds them. Okay? That's all a part of what Osensei called budo. Take is an old reading for bu. Musu, give birth. Okay? So right here, what we're doing more than anything else, we're just giving birth to this attraction and saying how it goes into a variety of different shapes and forms. But the constant is the gravity. And through that, the person to person, its martial form is based on that attraction. And it's based on the fact that we're using it to form a type of unity, a harmony. Okay? Okay? So I think we've got a couple of minutes. Let's go one more time, and then I think that's it for today. So continue. Okay. Okay, don't fall asleep there. That's the whole thing. It's an interaction. It's person to person. That's fine. Okay. And explore. That's a good move. Okay, now what happens? Okay, she's saying, I don't have a sword, but we're creating space. But we don't want to get too, the social distancing was sort of, it's very, very vague right there. So we don't want to go, But, and don't take this to be the literal truth, but you're kind of in a field of harmony. I think we have some degree of protection. Now, don't do that and put your mask on and say the universe is going to protect me from COVID-19. That's kind of magical thinking, which has gotten the country into a lot of trouble. But one of the things here, for example, this motion here, boom, if you're going to make them, we want to be outside your radius. We don't right? A lot of Osensei's things, they're swinging it where he was, not where he is. Why? Because the gravitational field creates a memory within your system, and so you say, it looks just fake as hell. He goes this way, and all of a sudden everybody goes that way, and he's just going this way. No, he's creating. There's such gravitational pull, Then all of a sudden he moves out of that. Your attraction is to where he was, not where he is. Right? That's. I mean, he had his tricks. I mean, could he fly or lift 2 tons? I don't think so. But he kind of understood things about the way the universe was. That was pretty cool. Okay, so that sort of motion. One of the things also, when you have a sword here, you gotta create space for yourself, right? In other words, you're creating a gate. Now you can move around, but when you go like this, you create a gate for yourself, not just for your partner. That's a hard one. Leave the sword here, bang. And, which happens to all of us, right? We all make our mistakes. Okay, but all right. So keep going. Good. Yeah, that's good. That's gravity. That's gravity. That's gravity. That's gravity. Slow it down. How fast is gravity? Gravity is not about speed at all. Slow it down. Slow it down. Don't get lackadaisical. That's good. Now you're starting to space properly. Okay? And the whole thing is just sort of, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yes, good. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. The other thing right there. Just fine. Yeah. 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 Be okay with. See, here you're on top, but be okay with the other person being on top. All right. So you're on top here, but be okay. Give the other person that chance. Just be careful and aware and conscious, of that. It opens up a lot of things. Okay. When Curry can say, I don't have to take the last shot to win the game. So the Warriors would be better. His brother-in-law won a game. In fact, a couple of games. Okay, so that's good. All right. But one of the things here, for example, I'm used to being on top here. Oh, okay, good. How about you give the top position up just to see where it goes, but you do it not a stupid way. You say, it's still martial, right? Astrology is based on the fact that all the planets move at different rates. The planets with the most power are the ones that are really far away because they're slow, right? It's a paradox. Mercury, what is Mercury? Mercury is communication. You say something, you want it to register pretty quick, or they'll get frustrated. These days it's bad because communication is not good between institutions and individuals. Look who's coming here. There's a crisis. You would like to see the government's on it. So, yeah, you get to be the government. You get to be the president. That's gravity. All right. In certain situations, we all take the lead. Certain situations, however, if you're really good, you say, yeah, you take the lead now. But you're still there as part of the gravity of the whole group. And that's that's the warriors when they're really good. They create organized chaos. What is organized chaos? It's fun. Why is there no fun here? In the pandemic, it's because everything there's too much limitation to have fun. So we got to create our own organized chaos. So the practice here, we got to learn the forms, you do this for that. That's fine. But it's also important to realize that when you get certain things, I've given certain tips out. Really want everybody here is in motion, have some organized chaos, which is fun. You get to, you two get it, you two, you're creating organized chaos together. Guess what? Organized chaos takes a hell of a lot of intelligence. How much organized chaos did Einstein create when he did relativity theory? Right? It's just the way, people that are kind of vanguards say, oh my God, we should have seen that, but we didn't. Oh my God. Here's a patent clerk. Okay. But all of a sudden physics changed. Now, these days there's so much happening, but we have to realize everything is budo. When Osensei was talking about budo, he meant there's budo in what you do, what I do. And there's budo more than just when we're in a training situation. Budo is a constant. But you also have to kind of reframe what budo is. And we were just saying at some point, the refinement of the training, you become gravity. And ideally the right things come into your orbit and the right people. And right now we're just totally compromised about what we can do, But, okay? What happens if something goes against the black hole? It gets pulled into the hole so fast it creates light and heat, right? You don't see a lot of the black hole you don't see because there's so much light it produces because of that. And how much does it weigh? Nothing. It's the singularity to find that. That's one of the paradoxes of the universe. And so, some people say the center of the universe is kind of like a black hole. We don't know this, but, for example, for it to go through the Big Bang, it had to have a motion here. That's basic breath. And it's constant. Goes out, comes back to itself, boom. But it's, okay, so that's Kokyu, it's fire water, it's Izanagi. Those are very advanced things. But one of the things, when you're standing, we're developing a shared gravity with your partner. That's attraction. Ultimately, since they defined it as love. Love is more than that. You can personalize love. That's important. I think we're about to get some visitors, so let's bow out, okay? Thank you all for being here. Let me do this before we. Okay. Why don't we all? Yeah. No. Where we go?
Thank you, Sensei.
Okay. It's a gravity class. Me. Let's see. Open this up.